Hollywood was thrown into chaos this morning when a source revealed that Dakota Johnson, who is said to be dating Jamie Dornan, had expressed her desire to get back together with her ex-boyfriend, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin. The news was like an earthquake, not only leaving fans stunned but also leaving Jamie, completely frozen, speechless. After going public with his relationship with Dakota just a few weeks ago, Jamie had the world believe he was entering the happiest phase in years. But now, the sweet love story that seemed perfect seems to be facing a big shock. Raincloud has shock from an unexpected confession. According to Entertainment Weekly, it all started when Dakota attended a private interview in Malibu, where she is filming a new movie. When asked about her feelings after breaking up with Chris Martin, she sighed and said a sentence that stunned the entire interview team. "Chris was an indispensable part of my life. Sometimes, I think I never really got over him." That seemingly unintentional statement was immediately exploited by the media, and within a few hours, a series of headlines exploded. Dakota Johnson hasn't forgotten Chris Martin. How did Jamie Dornan react to his girlfriend's shocking confession? A source close to Jamie said. He read the interview while on set. People said he was just silent for minutes, staring at the screen. No one dared to come near. Face without mouth, speechless, Jamie Dornan's reaction. A day later, Jamie was caught leaving his Los Angeles apartment in silence, his face full of tension. When asked if he knew about Dakota's words, he just nodded slightly, pursed his lips and said, "I have nothing to say right now." Just 4 short words, nothing to say right now, but enough to convey a clear message that Jamie was deeply hurt. A friend of the actor shared. Jamie is not angry, just disappointed. He really believed that he and Dakota had overcome her past. When she said it publicly, he felt stabbed in the back. Broken heart, the budding romance. It's ironic that less than a month ago, the whole world was cheering for this couple. After years of being just co-stars in 50 Shades of Grey, Jamie and Dakota finally admitted their feelings, sending fans into a frenzy. They were spotted walking hand in hand in London, having dinner together, smiling brightly, the image of 2 adults finding each other after many years apart. Jamie once shared in a short interview, "Dakota is someone who makes me feel at peace. I don't have to pretend anything when I'm with her." That's why Dakota's confession about Chris Martin turned everything upside down. Microphone, the past is not over. Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin had a relationship that lasted nearly 6 years, considered one of the most beloved couples in Hollywood. They started dating in 2017 and broke up peacefully in mid-2023. A mutual friend of Dakota revealed. They broke up because of distance and work, not because they stopped loving each other. They still keep in touch and care about each other. In particular, after Chris Martin finished his European tour last month, he was seen having dinner with Dakota at a restaurant in Santa Monica. At that time, fans thought it was just a meeting of friends. But now, after that confession, everything seemed to have a different meaning. High voltage sign, Dakota explains. After a wave of backlash from audiences and the media, Dakota finally spoke out through her representative. In a statement to Variety, she said, Dakota was just sharing her feelings about a past chapter in her life. Her comments were not meant to be a return. She respects Chris Martin, but right now she is focused on her relationship with Jamie. However, the public was not so easily convinced. Some believed Dakota had accidentally revealed her true feelings, while others believed the media had edited and exaggerated the story. In any case, the consequences were clear. Jamie Dornan was silent, and that silence was more powerful than any words. Crescent Moon, Jamie's long night. A source from the Daily Mail said that after the news broke, Jamie left Los Angeles and flew to Belfast, his hometown in Northern Ireland, to take a break and get away from it all. A neighbor said he spent most of his time walking along the beach, without his phone, away from cameras. He only appeared once, at a small cafe near his mother's house, with a sad look in his eyes and a haggard face. He looked like he was trying to understand something beyond his control, the cafe employee said. Speech balloon, fans react. On social media, Jamie and Dakota's fan community is divided into 2 distinct camps. One side sided with Jamie, saying he deserved to be loved completely, while the other sympathized with Dakota, saying she was misunderstood. One account wrote, Jamie was there when she needed him. He didn't deserve this. Another commented, Dakota was just being honest. No one easily forgets someone who was part of their youth. That doesn't mean she doesn't love Jamie. Dizzy, Chris Martin speaks. As the story spread, people became more curious about the reaction of Chris Martin, who was suddenly caught in the eye of the storm. At a concert in San Diego last night, Chris made the audience stir when he stopped in the middle of the song Yellow and said, "Sometimes, we lose something precious only to realize that we are not ready to let go." Although he did not mention anyone by name, the audience was sure that he was talking about Dakota. And as fate would have it, that same night, the song Fix You played, the melody that used to be their love song. Sun with small cloud hash a ray of hope for Jamie and Dakota? 2 days after Jamie returned to Belfast, Dakota was suddenly spotted at Heathrow Airport, where she was flying to the same city. A photographer captured the moment she was wearing a beanie, sunglasses, looking tired but determined. A source close to the couple revealed, "She came to see Jamie. She didn't want things to end on the wrong foot." Dakota knew she had hurt him and wanted to talk things out. And sure enough, the next morning they were spotted at a small beachside cafe. No one knows what they said, but the image of Dakota holding Jamie's hand for a moment was enough to send the internet into a frenzy of hope that the romance wasn't over. According to The Guardian, Jamie and Dakota spent the afternoon walking around the harbor. The smiles were no longer as bright as before, but there was understanding and sincerity in their eyes. A witness recounted. She leaned her head on his shoulder as the sun set. There was something very real, very gentle. It seemed like they were trying to mend things. To date, the two have not made an official statement about the status of their relationship. However, many people believe that Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson still have more in common than words. A close friend of Jamie told the press, "He loves her, not because of a perfect past, but because he understands that everyone has wounds. Jamie is not the type to run away when things are difficult." And perhaps that is what will save this love, a love that was once born on screen, but is now struggling with the harsh reality of real life. Although no one knows how it will end, the image of Jamie Dornan silently looking at Dakota Johnson at the Belfast Seaside Cafe will remain in the minds of fans. A man loves with calmness, a woman is still learning to let go of the past, and between them is a fragile but heartbreakingly true feeling. Because perhaps, sometimes silence is the way to say I still love you.